Hi, third and fourth grade. So it's Miss McCall here, and I have a very special guest to join us this week for library, the author and illustrator Jason Chin, who we've been studying.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jason.
Good to be here. How are you?
Good to see you. So I'm so glad you're able to join us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we can't wait to find out more about you.
All right. Well, it's great to be talking to you, third and fourth grade. I am an author and an illustrator, as you know. I write books about science and nature, and I also illustrate them. Today, I thought I'd talk to you about a book I illustrated, which I hear you're going to read next week. It's called 9 Months, and it's written by Miranda Paul, who also wrote Water is Water. So if you read Water is Water, it's the same author and illustrator, me. So when I started on this project, my editor sent me the manuscript, which is just the words. And I had to read the words and then imagine what the characters would look like and what the setting would be. All of that was up to me. In fact, in this book, since the words describe the growth of the fetus and the embryo, and they hint at the family who's expecting the baby, they actually don't say very much at all about what the story will be or would be. So that was all up to me to do with the pictures. I started by reading the manuscript and imagining what it could be like. And then I started doing drawings. Oh, sorry, I'm going to show you this first. Some of my drawings were of the fetus, and I had to learn what fetuses look like and embryos. I didn't know. So I had to do research to do that. And you might notice that I have all these notes over here because I did these drawings from photographs, and then I showed them to some doctors who helped me to correct them, to make them more accurate. So they gave me notes, and I took notes over here on the sides, and then I made corrections to my drawings. I had reference material from books, like this book right here. So there's a book of a photograph of the fetus in the womb. But that's not something I've never seen myself. So I had to work with the doctors and look at photographs to learn what they look like. Now, I also did drawings of, let's see, get a few pages in here. I also did drawings of the family. Here's some drawings. I'm going to hold them up closer so you can see. Those are some early sketches for what I thought the title page might look like. I made sketches for the whole book, and then I scanned them in the computer, and I put them together into this. This is called a book dummy. And you can see that it's a mock-up of the book with the words and the pictures put together. So I made this. Now, book dummies are wonderful because you can read them and see if you think that your pictures go well with the words. If you like, you can see how it feels to read the book. And if you like it, then you can keep it. But if there's something you don't like I wasn't so sure about this right here, so I changed it, right? Let's see. Like this one right here. Actually, this one is pretty similar to the way it came out in the end. But I made changes based on my book dummy. And then when I was satisfied with it, then I went on and did the paintings. Now, I paint in watercolor and a special type of watercolor called gouache. And maybe a little bit later, I'll do a little demonstration of some watercolor for you. The characters in this book are there's a family. You can see the family right there, and they're expecting a new baby. And when I was trying to imagine who this family would be, there they are. Okay, there's the title page. My brother called me and said, "Jason, I'm going to have a baby." So I said, "Perfect. Mike, do you mind being in my book?" So this is my brother and his wife Mariana, and these are their dogs, Hugo and Milo. And this is actually my daughter right here, because I needed an older sibling as a character in the book for the story. So I put my daughter in. And then you see this poster right here. This says Michoacan, Mexico. Morelia, Michoacan, which is in Mexico, because that's where Mariana is from, my sister-in-law. Um, and this was actually my children's real bedroom. And so I put all these folks in there. This is Mike and Mariana's real house and fireplace. They live in Waltham, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So I put my family in the book and based the characters on them. So now I think it's probably a good time for some questions.
Well, I have a question now that you just showed me that work, because I loved how you could see the two stories in 9 months. You see the outside family, and then
Yep.
you see the inside growing. Now,
Yep.
when I think about the manuscript and just the words, did the words give you the idea to have those two stories kind of pieced together, or where did that come from?
Yes. So in the words, here, I'll read you one of the stanzas, and I'll read it, and you won't see the pictures, so you'll just be listening, but you'll hear, I think, how. Let's see. How it can. Okay, so here's one. Okay. This is from month 6. And it says, "Grasp, clasp, ears that can hear. Sing as she listens, tell her you are near." So you can hear in the words, grasp, clasp, ears that can hear. That's referring to the fetus, to the growing baby inside the womb. Sing as she listens, tell her you're near. That's referring to somebody outside singing to the baby. And so a line like that indicated to me that there needed to be an inside. But I'll read another one for you, okay, that doesn't have the indication, but I'll show you what I did with the picture. This is from month 5. Lips, flips, curve, dip, and groove. She has a face. She likes to move. Now, what's really clever, what Miranda did, and then I picked up on and did was, in the illustrations, is that lips, flips, curve, dip, and groove, she has a face, is all about the fetus, right? But she likes to move, well, that's about the fetus, but it's also, in my picture, about the older sister. So this line is on this side to carry you, the reader, from inside to outside. But this line is about both the fetus and the older sister.
Oh, that text placement is so clever there with that.
So that was something that Miranda did in the text, but it was really neat to read it and for me to make that kind of discovery and make illustrations that emphasize that text could be for both characters.
Yeah. Wow, very cool. Well, you are wearing a science shirt, and we've
This
certainly
is my
noticed.
Zoom presentation shirt.
We've noticed from reading quite a few of your books that you certainly like nonfiction. So, what draws you towards writing about nonfiction?
I like facts. I like learning things, and I like that when I learn about a subject, I feel like understand the world a little bit better. So when I learn, especially about science, I feel like I have a better understanding of why things happen. And I'm a really curious person. So when I read, I often say to myself, well, I wonder why that is. And then I'll go find a book and try and find the answer. So that happens a lot to me where I'm just like reading along and I'm like, oh man, I wonder how they know that. And then I'll go and try and find out. And science and scientists, I think, have the best answers for why things happen, what causes animals to be here and not there, what causes the world to spin, why do we have life on Earth and not on Venus, and so on. All these really interesting questions that I have. So that draws me to nonfiction, to science. But I like to draw pictures. That's one of my favorite things to do is draw pictures. So a lot of times when I learn something, I want to draw a picture of it. And I'm lucky to have found this career illustrating or writing and illustrating books about science. I get to go out and learn stuff, answer my questions, like feed my curiosity, and then make books to share it with all of you.
Okay, so you just talked about wondering about things, and that just made me wonder. So in your books, so when I think about coral reefs and gravity and redwoods, you have the character inside the book find the book, and it's kind of like a book about reading your book. Where did you come up with that idea? That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
How'd you decide to do that?
So the book within the book idea was actually not mine. The first book that I wrote and illustrated was Redwoods. I brought a book dummy in to show my editor. Actually, it wasn't my editor at the time because I'd never written a book before, but I brought this book dummy to an editor. His name is Neil, and he liked it and said, I think we'd like to publish this, but I'm wondering, is the book inside the book the same book? And I said, no, it's just a book about redwood trees. And he said, do you think you could make it the same book? And I said, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So I did it. I didn't realize how good an idea it was, and how many kids really like that idea and respond to it. I think it really elevated that book kind of to the next level. I don't know, of interest, it added a whole nother dimension of mysteriousness or magical dimension to the story.
And I think especially now that's the connection between those three books that we keep seeing.
Yeah, and it's actually in my next book as well. I keep going back to keep plumbing this idea.
Excellent.
I'll keep doing it until people really get tired of it.